Members only Thursday live. Let me know down below when you're in the chat and how you are feeling, because these energies are intense. We do have a pretty big transit taking place tomorrow. We're probably already feeling it. We do have Uranus sitting at 29 degrees. It is going to be conjunct Venus at 29 degrees tomorrow, and then Venus is going to be going into Gemini. We have Neptune stationing retrograde, and then on Sunday, we have Venus in a sextile to Saturn and Neptune, both in Aries. And so this energy is huge, right? Because on Monday, Uranus is going to enter into Gemini. And so there's a shift. There's a major, major shift. I know for myself, personally, I always feel these energies very intensely when they get to that aneretic degree. So let me know how you are feeling down below, because there's going to be shocking relationship shifts, because Venus rules love, money, and relationships. There could be financial upheaval, good or bad. There could be unexpected windfalls, unexpected downfalls. Hello, Regine. Welcome in. It is so nice to see you. So if you have anything at 29 degrees and anything in your birth chart that is going to aspect Uranus or Taurus at 29 degrees, this is going to be huge. Hello, Megan. Welcome in. How are you? So let's talk about these energies, right? Because when Neptune goes retrograde, there's like a disillusionment kind of taking place, especially connected to what it is that our dream is, right? And so we all have a dream. We all have a collective dream that we're here to manifest. And so July is a big month, astrologically speaking. July is huge. We have the full moon in Capricorn in a week from today. We also have Mercury going retrograde in Leo. So look to the house of Leo, because Mercury retrograde is asking us to rethink our ideals around our thought patterns, right? Yeah, I knew you had some significant placements at 29 degrees. So this is pretty significant, right? Doing pretty good, trying to ride the waves. Yeah. So for me, because we're dealing with Taurus energy, we have to really keep in mind the grounding practices, right? Taurus is asking us to stay connected to the earth and to stay connected to our body. We don't want to get too carried away with any upper thought processes or anything like that, right? We want to be heart-centered, and we want to be connected to the body. We also have, I want to mention, because Saturn's going retrograde this month too, and Saturn and Neptune are kind of going to be like in this dance and holding hands until next year, when they go into this conjunction exact at 0 degrees. So we're not quite to the other side of this timeline shift just yet. So we're kind of in a clearing portal. We are in a portal of purging old beliefs, old habits, any kind of stuck energy. And it can feel rather intense at times, right? Because that 29th degree, that aneretic degree, is asking us to complete a cycle. And because it's touching the Venus and Uranus energy together, there's old cycles in love that we have to kind of dismantle, right? Especially where we've been the martyr, where we have overgiven, where we've held on to a fantasy or a connection or a person in hopes that there's going to be reciprocity, in hopes that there could be a return. And so I think this like twin flame journey, the illusion of the fantasy, is kind of being dismantled, because ultimately we are our own twin flame, right? We are here to come into union with source and with our own inner masculine and feminine energies. And so there's like a realignment and a merging of our inner union happening, I feel, throughout the course of the next 6-7 months. And so we really need to bring everything inward, right? Because with all of this Aries energy going retrograde, Chiron retrograde in Aries, and Neptune and Saturn retrograde in Aries, and then Mercury and Leo retrograde, there's like a breakdown of the ego kind of happening, right? And so there's a lot of inner work. We really got to go within and do that inner work and trust our own internal guidance in these energies. So I pulled a couple of decks today. We're only going to pull in with 2 different decks, and I did choose the Guardian Angel Tarot deck, and there will be reversals today. I did notice I used this deck when I pre-recorded tomorrow's morning message, and so there was reversals, and I'll take it as it is, because obviously we need to hear the cold hard truth, and the reversals do bring forward that cold hard truth. Okay, And then I did choose the, oh, I was going to grab the deck on the table. I choose the Magic of the Unicorns deck. It's a very high frequency deck. There's a lot of ascension messages in this deck. And I'm just drawn to unicorns. I have my little unicorn on my desk here that my daughters gifted me for my birthday last year. So let's get at it. Let's dig into all 12 zodiac signs. We will start with Aries and we will end with Pisces. And as always, please do feel free to apply this to your sun, your moon, your rising sign. You can even apply these messages to your Venus, your Jupiter, and your North Node placements. And like I say, if you know your birth chart inside out and backwards, you can apply every single message to every housing aspect of your chart. But let's jump right in and let's see what needs to come through for my Aries collective today. What do you got for Aries? I do think this is a message we all probably could heed with all of the Aries energy in the collective about to go retrograde, and we are entering into a unicorn portal, and I am being shown the Queen of Cups. So there is a huge energy, I do have to say, of like divine feminine empowerment, divine feminine rising. And so the unicorn portal is asking us all to focus on our light, to listen for that message, to listen internally for that message, right? And so when we focus on kind of like that hermit energy, the hermit and the high priestess, those two energies, they do go hand in hand. That's very inappropriate. And I actually thought this was for the members. I must not have adjusted. I must not have put it to the members only, and I do apologize, channel members, but those inappropriate comments, they will be deleted and they will be blocked. But listen for that message, okay? Because as a divine feminine rising, we're not going to put up with the disrespect from the masculine collective like that anymore, because we are worth more than that inappropriate behavior coming towards us, okay? I do have a sense of humor, but that is actually very inappropriate. And I don't appreciate those type of comments on my channel when I'm here talking about ascension and spirituality and releasing these toxic patterns. So yeah, I just think the ugly part in your name definitely suits you. We'll leave it at that. So there is a Queen of Cups energy coming through here, and there is a need to go within, right? To listen to your own inner guidance. And let's just clarify that with a tarot message. Hello, Kate. Welcome in. It is so good to see you on the live today. We are just opening up into the Aries collective. And the first card out for Aries was the Unicorn Portal. And the tarot card connected to that is the Knight of Air. So this is very interesting because the Knight of Air is connected, I feel, to that Gemini energy, because that Gemini energy of Uranus going into Gemini at 0 degrees, Venus going into Gemini at 0 degrees, there's going to be a lot of fast-paced communication, right? There's going to be a lot of intellectual downloads, and there's going to be a lot of determined motivation to move forward. So the Knight of Air is one of the fastest moving knights in the deck. And I feel there is a need to recognize some red flags here. So I do feel, like I said, we're in this portal of transformation until I feel the spring of next year. So throughout the winter months, it would be a good time to go within, to get heart-centered. And there is a level of purification happening here with the white roses. And so I do feel a disillusionment connected to romance, like romantic illusions. And so be mindful of the red flags. Be mindful of where you have blocked your truth and not spoken your truth, because I do feel there could be a lot of harsh words, a lot of harsh communication when we go into that 0 degrees of Gemini energy, because this is like the portal opening, right? That new beginning. And then we do have to keep in mind Uranus is going to be going retrograde, and it's going to be going back into Taurus, and we're going to have a second Taurus Venus conjunction in April of next year at 29 degrees Taurus again. So very interesting tidbit of information. But I feel get prepared to maybe block communication. Maybe communication is going to be going cold, but to recognize the red flags is also recognizing your own patterns, right? Because the common denominator in every single relationship that we are in is ourselves. And we have patterns too that we're here to transcend and overcome. And so really listen for that message. Focus on your own inner light, okay, Aries? All right, let's see what needs to come through for my Taurus collective. What do we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node? What do we got for Taurus, please? All right, we got 2 that flipped out for you. I love it, Taurus. We have a 37 card and a 10 card, so 10-10, completion, completion. I do feel, Taurus, especially with the Taurus conjunction between Uranus and Venus, you are closing out a major cycle. So something here is reaching completion, and I just want to say congratulations, Taurus. It does feel like you are stepping into becoming a wise leader. And so the spiritual warrior card and the access your gifts. And so I do feel throughout these retrogrades that are all being activated in July, it's time to go deep. It's time to really go deep within, Taurus, and to really explore all of your gifts and to really get to that acceptance of who you truly are, right? Because the further into the age of Aquarius that we go, this is all about authenticity. And so something about Lionsgate portal as well. We see the lion on the card. We see the lion and the lamb. So I want to say bring it back to March, right? You know how that saying goes, in like a lion, out like a lamb, or in like a lamb, out like a lion, connected to the month of March. I do think there was a shift back in March, and there's something here where you're being asked to go deeper into how you command the universe, how you manifest, how you step into being that wise leader, because the spiritual warrior energy came through very loudly in tomorrow morning's message that I recorded before jumping on this live. And so the divine is watching over you. I really do feel that, Taurus. The divine really is watching over you as you go deeper into this treasure of opening up all of your gifts. So let's go a little bit deeper with the tarot, and let's see what the tarot card is paired with this. Dragonflies. Watch for the dragonflies. And I did notice the symbol of the Ankh here, which is the inner union, I want to say, of the masculine and the feminine energy for you. And we get the blue rose. So once again, the activation of the throat, I feel, is a good message coming through for you. And be mindful of the dragonflies. I do feel you've got a visitor on the other side coming through in the form of a dragonfly. So what is the tarot message for Taurus? I heard North Star. So something about your North Node mission, your karmic pathway, and we get the Knight of Wands. So interesting. The first 2 signs out, the first 2, the 2 fastest knights in the deck. I feel like, man, you've been on the path for a while, probably being that torchbearer, following, I want to say, like the path. You're on the path, you're following the path. And if things have been feeling really stuck, they're going to be moving forward very quickly. I do feel heart-centered forward motion coming through for you. Victory is here for you. I just feel a lot of growth, a lot of abundance, and I do think you're kind of coming into a new sense of self-confidence, Taurus. And so get ready to be passionate again about your spiritual path and a new adventure. I feel a new adventure. So I do feel a lot of heart-centered movement is coming forward for you, Taurus, and I think it's coming in very quickly. All right, let's move on to Gemini next. What do we got for my Gemini collective? And I also feel, because of the Venus Gemini, Uranus Gemini ingresses, this is probably a message we all could heed. What do we have for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node? Let's see what we got here. Magical Crystal Cave. This actually was a card that came through for tomorrow morning's message, and it was on the bottom of the deck. And so I think of a cave energy. I think of becoming the hermit, right? And it's a 21 card. So there is a major cycle reaching completion for you as well, right? The world indicates closing a cycle connected to all of the fixed energies. Look to all of your fixed placements, Gemini. And it's really time to turn on that inner light to bring forward your gifts. So it's like this energy of like you hold the key. So if you have any early degree Gemini placements, or if you're like a Venus in Gemini, like I myself am, you hold the key to really opening up your gifts and shining that light. I do feel working with crystals would probably behoove you, Gemini, and just really going inward, really embracing that inner cave of the hermit energy, especially with the South Node transiting through Virgo. So what is this all about? I also heard Magdalene code. So divine feminine energy connected to the sisterhood of the rose. I feel it's like it's like you're this bringer of light. There's this light kind of shining down on you. So I don't know if you're going through like spirals of ascension, but you do need to kind of come into the light. You got to shine that light. You got to step into being a way shower, like bringing forward that light. All right, we're going to take this one because it kind of peeked through. 5 of air. I don't know. I think you're going through a major reassessment. The card says mistakes and melodrama. And so maybe you haven't won something here. And I just feel like this is a strong message. Like, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy, right? We can't want to win at all costs. The 5 of air is also becoming enlightened, connected to our own self-sabotaging behaviors, right? We all can be self-sabotaging at times. And I just feel like it's time to up the game. And I mean that in a healthy sense. Like, we're not here to play games with ourselves or with others, right? Where do you deceive yourself? Where do you need to rethink something here? Because I just feel there's a situation here that maybe has caused you a lot of drama and there's no winning. So reassess, redirect, go within, because mistakes are just there to allow us to grow, to move beyond any stuck patterns, to look at things not just as black and white, because there is always that gray area. But I do feel you're learning something here about your own patterns, and maybe you've been dealing with somebody mirroring to you their own sabotaging patterns, which is getting you to kind of transcend this. But I do feel, yeah, it's like the game's over. Stop playing games if you've been playing games with somebody and bring forward the gifts, the lessons that you've learned from this, okay? All right, Cancer is up next, and we do need to remember we just had Jupiter ingress into Cancer. We are still full swing in Cancer season. So what do we have for my Cancer collective? Because I know the Cancers that I'm connected to, they've been going through it, right? And I know Jupiter is exalted in the sign of Cancer, but not without those challenges. So we got 3 out for you, Cancer, and I'm going to take them all because they all flipped upright. And so oneness. I do feel a 2 of Cups energy coming through for you, Cancer. And the card says, look for the common humanity. Invoke Lemurian light. So I remember the connection to Lemurian star seed energy way back. And so bottom line is we are all connected. We're all connected on the World Wide Web of consciousness, right? And we are all part of humanity. Everything is connected. Everything is one. But I do feel a 2 of Cups energy here. I do feel a 4 of Wands energy here as well coming through for you, Cancer, with the cosmic diamond. And we are all here to spread hope, love, and joy, right? And so what do you need to illuminate in the world, Cancer? Because you are a cardinal sign. You do represent leadership, and there is a lot of soul healing here. But after the Tower, I feel a Tower. So there's a Tower here to get you to realign with your true soul essence, to see your true colors. And I'm hearing that song, I see your true colors shining through. So maybe you're seeing somebody in a whole new light, good or bad, right? When we see those true colors, we have to believe when that person shows us who they are the first time. But I feel there's an illumination connected to somebody that you're dealing with, whether it's romance or not, and their true colors are shining through. But I do feel a union here. I do feel a Two of Cups, Four of Wands union. And I see a daisy. So I'm hearing that song too. Is it by Pink? Is it by Pink about the daisies? Go have a listen. There might be a message for you in that song. But I also feel you could be connected to a Taurus. Whenever I think of a diamond, I think of a Taurus energy. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say about this. What is the tarot message for Cancer? I do feel you are being like, it's like an like almost like an activation with the invoking. So invoking that higher energy, and we got the Hermit, Virgo. So we get a beautiful blend of Cancer, Taurus, and Virgo coming through. I do feel if you are seeing your true colors in a mirror reflection with somebody else, this has really got you to go deep into introspection. Venus in early Cancer. So you're definitely feeling the Jupiter ingress of Jupiter in Cancer for sure. So that's going to expand those Venusian qualities for you, Regine, which is really beautiful. But I do feel there could be somebody here mirroring back to you mentorship energies. And I always say to my clients, what you see in me is also in you. And so maybe it's really time to go deep into introspection, into this self-discovery, to look for the commonality within humanity, because on the other side of this retrograde energy, I do feel there is going to be a Two of Cups. Hello, hello, welcome to the chat. So I do feel there's a cycle here asking you to step into shining that light on humanity and becoming that spiritual mentor. Okay, we're going to move on to Leo next. What do we have for my Leo collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. We get the Ascension lift. There is a Knight of Cups energy here. Prepare for rapid spiritual growth, Leo. Prepare for rapid spiritual growth. Be ready for opportunities. And so we will be going into Leo season. We're going to have a new moon in Leo. I believe it's going to be at the end of the month. I don't even know what date it is today. It's the 3rd. It's going to be at the end of July. So there might be a new opportunity for romance here, Leo. There very well could be. I want to say connect with spirit animals. I don't know if you're really connected with nature at this time, really connecting to animals. Maybe animals are really drawn to you, but I don't know. I feel like you're kind of ascending. You're feeling this higher vibe energy coming in, and we are in preparation for Lionsgate portal in Leo season, Leo. So I just feel like new romance, new love, this invigorating energy around my Leo collective. And I do feel purification with that dove on the card. So what is this ascension lift all about? Because I do feel get ready for an opportunity in love in the next little while. So what do we got for Leo today? Oh, we get a Tower in reversed and a King of Cups. Well, that is get ready for an unexpected opportunity in love. I think there is going to be a love offer coming, and this is coming in very quickly, and it's going to trigger a lot of upheaval and life changes for you, Leo. Maybe you're breaking free from an old way of doing partnership, an old way of romance, but I do think you got a very trustworthy offer coming in on the table, and it could be with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It doesn't have to be, but this is somebody that's in it for the long haul. Look at, they're in it to build something long lasting. They're grounded, they're rooted, they're heart centered, they're understanding, they're compassionate, and this is coming in fast. And that's what I have for you, Leo. Okay. All right. Virgo is up next. What do we got for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. What do we got for Virgo today? All right, Virgo, open your heart. Because we do have the transit South Node going through Virgo, there's a lot of past life energy coming up connected to soul contracts, right? And so Virgo, open up your heart. I do feel a hermity quality, which is definitely aligned with Virgo energy. And you have to open up, right? I know as a Virgo moon and with a Virgo stellium and a lot of Virgo energy in my 7th house, I am a big time hermit. I don't really enjoy socializing. I don't enjoy being around a lot of people. But this is also a message in loving yourself, right? Because we do project outwardly what we're ready to receive by how we love ourselves and how we treat ourselves. And that's really what I've been focused on. lately is loving myself, filling my own cup. But you also have to be willing to dare to be vulnerable. You are an earth sign and you don't exactly like to feel your emotions like your counterpart energy, Pisces. But I do feel open up your heart to love. Open up your heart to the possibilities of, hey, you're going to mirror back to somebody how you want to be loved by how you're loving yourself. So are you loving yourself right? So what else does Virgo need to know? We got two come out, 7 of air and the 10 of air in reverse. Do not let the past pains and betrayals hold you back from being vulnerable and opening up to somebody new. Okay, Virgo, I think there's an awareness. There's a cautious awareness here. Like, hey, you probably had to deal with the consequences of a past betrayal, but it's over. It's done. You've recovered from it and now you're free. So trust that it's safe to open up to something new. Okay, Virgo? And that's what I got for you, because I do feel like a 3 of swords in reverse. So you've healed your heart. You're going to be acutely aware of the signs now. And yes, every choice, every action does have a reaction and a consequence. But if you're not open to love, then how are you ever going to learn how to receive that love? So that's what I have for you, Virgo. Okay, Libra is up next. What do we have for my Libra collective? What do we got for Libra? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Ascension flames. I love this. Okay, so there is like a brand new passion here, a brand new Ace of Wands beginning. The ascension flames for me really is that merger with your own inner light, your own energy, your inner masculine and feminine, right? Where you ignite those keys in order to alchemize your energies from within. And so there's an activation of some light codes here coming in for you, Libra. And because you are the sign of balance, you might be having a hard time balancing these scales, alchemizing these scales. There's a lot of ascension codes being downloaded for you. So what I want to say, Libra, because you are an air sign, you're going to have to drop into the body. You're going to have to consciously work on those grounding practices, especially with this conjunction. But I do feel there's a merging. So don't attach the merging of these higher ascension energies to a specific person and call that my twin flame. Like, so just be mindful of that, because it's energy, right? We all have the ability to merge. But I feel this is more like the merger with source energy for you, Libra. So what is the tarot message for Libra? Like, just bask in it, soak it all in, ground it in, journal, automatic write, because I do think you're stuck in an old mindset here. So these keys are to break you free from a self-imposed prison, okay, Libra? And so maybe you're doubtful. Maybe you're riddled with self-doubt about stepping into being that flame for others, right? We're all here to spark something in somebody. We're all here to shine a light and hopefully bring a little bit of good into the world that we're living in, right? And so maybe there's confusion, but let me tell you, we all have free will. If you're stuck on a specific person as a twin flame, let go. That person has free will and you have free will. So break yourself free from some type of self-imposed prison, because all you have to do is take a couple swords out and walk forward. And I do think there's fear with the red coat on. I do think there's some fear. So really work on grounding in, like I said, with that root chakra, that base chakra. That's where that coiled snake energy is at, connected to the Kundalini energy for this ascension. So work on clearing that root chakra. Work on it, because I do think something here has gone a little icy cold, and all you got to do is break yourself free. Okay, Libra? All right, we are going to move on to Scorpio next. I do believe Scorpio is up on the docket next. What do we have for my Scorpio collective? New opportunities, but you have to declutter your life. So there's change on the horizon. There is massive change on the horizon for you, Scorpio, especially if you have anything late degree, because let me tell you, we've got that opposition to Venus and Uranus and Taurus. If you have anything late degree in Scorpio, get ready for some massive change. I think you're being shown a glimpse of a magical doorway that you are about to walk through, but there's going to be people that need to leave your life. You might need to declutter your home of physical things. And maybe there's going to be a shift in a job. I do feel a massive shift in beliefs. So get ready for some change, because with new opportunities, something has to leave our life. We have to make space for that new opportunity. And so I do feel there's like a blessing in disguise energy kind of coming through for you. So yeah, I just think be mindful of where you are not honest with yourself. The page of air, it says truthful, analytical, outspoken. I think it's time to dig a little bit deeper and to do some research. There could be a deeply ingrained pattern from childhood here that is blocking your path forward. There may be a need to go back and analyze something from childhood that has repeated throughout your lifetime, that has prevented you from embracing this change. But I feel if you've been shy about sharing your truth or having a conversation or speaking up, it's time to speak up. It's time to be truthful. It's time to be honest. It's time to say what you mean and mean what you say. And I just feel like it's time to cut through the illusions too, with the forest in the background. It's time to cut through the illusions. Something here has been hidden in plain sight. So get ready to cut that out, right? Because that sword holds the truth, but there's a lie here, whether it's a mistruth or a misaligned loyalty with somebody. It's really time. And maybe this is a conversation with your kids. Maybe there's been blocking with your children. Pages do represent children. I do think it's time to have an honest, open-hearted conversation here. That's the big message, and that's going to catapult this change for you. Okay, Scorpio? All right, Saggies are up next. What do we have for my Sagittarius collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Sagittarius, Mahatma energy. It's a 29. Sag, this is huge. We have that anaretic degree of Uranus and Venus in that conjunction. I just feel like a DNA activation. I feel this beautiful, like, holy grail cup of love being activated. This is light body activation and your ascension journey being accelerated. Sagittarius, you are ruled by Jupiter. And so you might be going through a major integration with Uranus and Gemini in opposition to any Sagittarius energies, especially if you're early degree, and with Venus in opposition to Sagittarius placement. So there might be a light body activation, and then you're going to have to build upon that activation. You're going to have to ground in that light body. I just feel like a total transformation going on, and I feel it's a transformation of the heart. I really do. So there is a major completion. There's karma here. 29 is a karmic debt number, but it also breaks down to 11. And so you're mastering something here. What is this energy all about? There could be an ending. There could be a separation. And nothing is actually separate from us. So in order to accelerate your ascension, I do think there's a partnership here where you are being called to withdraw from a commitment. I do feel there is a lack of reconciliation. If you tried to make things work, I'm just going to tell you, don't force it. If you have to force it, it's probably shit, okay? But I just feel there is a separation, and maybe you're feeling disconnected or separated with somebody you're already in a commitment with. But I feel there's no resolution in sight. There's no reconciliation in sight. And this is blocking your ascension journey. This is blocking you accelerating on your path. Let's take a peek on the bottom of the deck. They told me, yeah, so there is a lack of balance here, Sag. That is your card, the Temperance card in reverse. So I do think it's going to take a lot of self-control. I think maybe you've tried to compromise. You've tried to make things work. But there is just, there's just no working together. I just feel there's karmic debt here to work through, and you have to build a solid foundation for yourself. I'm sorry, it's the message that came through for you, Sag, but that's kind of what I see here today. Okay, we're going to move on to Capricorn next. What do we got for my Capricorn collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. Oh my goodness. Are we going to take them? We're going to put them back. We're going to get one. Let's get one message for Capricorn today. What do we got for my Capricorn collective? Okay. Law of Grace. Ace of Cups energy. And so this kind of reminds me of the Vesica Pisces. And so I don't know if there's been like a merger but there's a disillusion here. There's a dissolving of a contract, I feel, in order for you to harness self-love, right? And so maybe you're dealing with a mirror soul here that is to activate you going into the depths of understanding your divine essence. And so when two energies collide, it creates a third energy, right? And so I just feel there's a big lesson here in learning to love yourself. I believe somebody's really touched you, is what this feels like, Capricorn, but touched you in a way for you to learn how to love yourself. I think you've given somebody a lot of grace, and now it's time to show yourself grace. So what is this Ace of Cups energy all about? And that card went flying, and I don't know if I can reach it. I'm going to try and reach it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Queen of Wands in reversed. Somebody here has really drained your energy is what this feels like, Capricorn. I think you are exhausted. You're lacking passion. You're lacking drive. Maybe you've been determined to try and make things work and to show somebody grace. But I do think it's blocking your passions. I do think it's kind of putting out your fire. I don't know if you're dealing with like a water sign. I just feel like sometimes fire and water, they can make steam, but water can put out somebody's fire here. And I think in your heart of hearts, you know this. So it's really going to be hard, I think, for you to find your determination to dissolve some type of partnership here. But I do think it's much needed after some type of soul merger with somebody. I think there is a separation in order for you to learn how to love yourself. So codependencies as well, and there could be control issues here that you need to work through. So let's move on to Aquarius next. What do we have for my Aquarius collective? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. What do we got for Aquarius today? Violet Flame. Wow, I feel you are being called to invoke the violet flame, the cosmic violet flame. There's this energy of transmuting anything that is not love. So there's some deep rooted karma here. I feel a Page of Wands. I feel this is just the beginning. If something is coming to an end, it's actually just the beginning, Aquarius. And so the violet flame allows us to burn through this karmic wreckage. And so it's going to take strength. I do feel you're connected to, I want to say, divine feminine codes all the way back to Isis. So connect with the archetype of the goddess Isis, because she is bringing forward a lot of information for you. I see all the animals on the card. It's like this swirling energy of ascension is all around you as you're burning through this karma and releasing a situation that maybe at one point in time you thought was love, but it's not love. So what is this all about for Aquarius today? The King of Air and the Five of Wands sideways. I think you've really struggled. I think you've been conflicted. I think you've been conflicted with this situation. It's almost like you've imprisoned yourself, right? And so kind of similar vibe to the Eight of Swords, because she's behind all of these wands. It's almost like you know you need to protect your heart, Aquarius, is what this feels like. I think there's like a minor annoyance here, and you're dealing with a King of Air. This is Aquarian energy, though. You're dealing with somebody that is probably very intelligent, very, very well respected, but there's like a coldness here. There's an icy coldness here. And so I don't know if this person has a hard time communicating with you. I feel like the communication has gone cold, which is why it's kind of kept you in this limbo. But I don't feel this is love. I do feel you've got somebody here that is probably trustworthy, honorable, respected, knowledgeable, but swords are thoughts. It's not heart-centered. And so I do feel there's a need to release an icy cold connection here. I really do feel that. And that's what I have for you, Aquarius. So break yourself free. It doesn't have to be a competition. It doesn't have to be a conflict. And you can choose to walk away. We can always choose to make another choice. So let's close off these zodiac messages with my Pisces collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, and North Node. What do we got for Pisces today? Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. I love it. Refreshing oasis, and it's an 18 card, which is the energy of the moon. Nurture yourself. Pisces, you are the most selfless sign. You give to your own detriment, almost to the point of martyrdom at times, right? And I'm a Pisces rising. I know you absorb everything. You feel everything that belongs to everybody else. Nurture yourself. Gather your strength. Pour into your own cup. I noticed a donkey in the background. So I don't know if you're dealing with an ass. I want to say you're dealing with a stubborn ass that is never going to change. And so break free from an illusion, please. I think there's an illusion here because I feel the moon. And so don't be afraid to walk away and fill your own cup. Don't be afraid to nurture yourself. You're very welcome, Regine. What is this refreshing oasis all about? For Pisces, there is a lack of closure in a cycle here. Okay, lack of closure. And so there's something here that needs to complete. I think you keep going round and round and round in the same pattern, maybe with the same person or with different people, with different faces. And it's time to open up to a new cycle. Quit holding on to the old patterns of the past. Let them go. We have the 6 of air reverse, the 6 of cups reverse. There's a childhood pattern here, and maybe you're holding on to an ass or situation where somebody is difficult because of the memories, because of some type of nostalgia, because of the hope. It's time to give yourself relief. It's time to move on. Stop holding on to a cycle that is just going to keep you spinning your wheels going round and round. Open up to the intuitive hits and open up to a new cycle in love. Pour into your own cup first, okay, Pisces? And that is what I have for you. So it was fun. I do apologize to my members that I did make this public again this week. I did think that it was for the members, but welcome everybody from the public that did join in on the live. If you enjoyed it and it's something that you are curious about, head on over to the membership because for less than a cup of coffee a month, you can be a channel member and you can join in on these Thursday lives because next week it will be set to members only. But I do hope you all have a wonderful day and have a great weekend ahead, and buckle up because these energies, they are pushing us all to these breakthroughs, right? Breakthroughs and breakdowns are definitely freeing. So embrace whatever change is coming your way because Uranus is here to shake things up in the physical reality. So have a great week ahead, everybody, and I will see you next Thursday.